How does Santa prepare for that ride on Christmas Eve? Well, he takes in a little basketball. Santa's on hand. Take a look at the Maine lineup. Xavier Pollard, you see number 12. He has been their leader this season, averaging 17 points a game. They are a small team, while the Friars, they've got the size. Let's see if they take advantage. Underneath, Cotton continues to be their leader offensively, defensively, really all over the court. But as we told you, Hinton and Batts have done a great job underneath for them. We are ready to go. Providence team 9-2. The University of Maine 1-8 on the season. This will be the 12th time these teams have met. All of them played here in Providence, and Providence has won 10 of the 11 previous games. And the alley-oop dunk underneath, and that's what Maine's going to be concerned with. LaDonte Hinton.
And Gary, I feel like we're watching the game the other night. That's what the Friars love to run against, that zone defense that Yale had, the little back screen alley-oop action.
Maine will go baseline, and they'll find a little room, and it's put in. Stefan Mahovic scores that one. This University of Maine team, an international flavor to it. Players from Nigeria, 2 from Serbia, 1 from Germany, 1 from Lithuania, and even 3 from Maine on the Maine basketball team.
Well, scoring it has never been a problem this season for sure. You mentioned nearly 80. Their problem is the defensive end.
See if this ends up being a wide open offensive game. It's starting out that way as Batts will put that one home. Batts having an outstanding season for Providence at both ends of the court. He's averaging 12 a game. There's their leader, Xavier Pollard. They'll look baseline. They will be facing the zone of Providence. That spin move, and that's going to be up and in. Great move. Akonda Cole-Rennell put that one in. Cole-Rennell out of Boston. Played back to Cotton. That one came off, sorry. It remains 4-2. I gave him 2 before he got it. Hinton will drop that one outside. That's for 3, and that'll be an in and out. Batts the rebound up and in.
We'll see that size advantage along the front line for the Friars. You've seen Hinton, you've seen Batts now complete back-to-back buckets in different ways.
Micevic working on the far side. They'll try and keep that middle open. Maine will for the guards to try and drive. That's for 3, and that is an air ball by Garrett Beal. Providence running it up the other end. Fortune goes the other side, the left-hander. That'll be off. Fortune's all alone near side for the rebound. He'll take it in. It gets blocked. Cole-Rennell, a good block on that one. Nice move by Pollard to bring it in. Gets a little help on the follow-up and a nice 3-on-2 fast break. And Cole-Rennell puts that one home. And both these teams, in fact, it's offensive.
And this is what we were talking about at the top, Gary. The emergence of Batts and Hinton for Ed Cooley. You saw how athletic Hinton could be. And then Kadeem Batts has that nice space up 15 to 17-foot range. And then, as we know, the last 2 seasons, a force in the paint in the Big East.
It will be interesting to see how this game plays out because, as Vin said, Maine has averaged over 76 points a game, but the defense for Providence has been the big part of their game. Their offense at time has gone back and forth, been a little unsteady, but they've given up only 63 points a game.
No question, and in a perfect world, as we look at those impressive numbers for Batts, Ed Cooley would love to just play half-court man-to-man. And he would love to grind you and get after you, pressure you on the perimeter, and deny you in the post. But the depth of this team is something that's been well documented, and he just does not have enough bodies to go man and press for 40 minutes. So we'll see a good amount of zone, Gary, this afternoon as well.
Cotton averaging almost 19 points a game. Their leader, Harris for 3, and that one's going to be a deep rebound, and Maine will get it. Well, the University of Maine will try and use their rebounding abilities in this game by keeping Providence out of that paint, try and get some possessions on misses. Beal, he is one of the main kids on this team. Garrett Beal on Beal's Island. And that'll be knocked out of bounds, Providence defense. And it'll be Maine taking it on the baseline. Both these teams will go extensively to their bench. The University of Maine has had 8 different starting lineups. And they play a lot of players in the course of a game. They've had 10 different starters. Off the baseline, foul called underneath. I'm kind of surprised here, Vin. We're seeing Maine try and take the ball down low.
Yeah, well, look at that little action right there off a little old school veteran NBA move right there with its back turned. Batts came in at the last second before the official blew the whistle there. The quick in and out shuffle sub by Ed Cooley.
This is where Maine needs to be strong today, and they've not been on the season off the free throw line. Only 62% from the free throw line for Maine. And Providence is exactly the other end. They're number 1 in the country. But 2 for 2 as Coronel puts in a couple. And the offensive game we expected playing itself up early. There is Cotton. The surprise being Cotton's the one who hasn't had the shot yet. He's been giving off the assists, their leading scorer. Hinton will come. And around and out. Rebounded up, and that'll be out of bounds. Tyler Harris hit it out of bounds off Providence. Chris Cooley, 8th season, looking for his 136th win overall in his coaching career at Providence, 43-34. And he's got a club that's getting ready for Big East play at the end of the month. There's Cotton, their leading scorer. That goes off the front of the rim. Looks like Providence wants to run here. Cotton leading the charge, takes the lane, gets tied up, got foul from behind as Coronel reached around.
Well, one thing that Ed Cooley and his ball club loves to do at home is push the pace a little bit more, run, especially in the first half. He loves that exciting brand of basketball. That's what he's recruited to, and he's recruited exceptionally well.
The 3, that's Cotton, and he bangs it home. Cotton gets his 21st three-pointer of the season. He's a 32% three-point shooter on the year. And one of the things Maine will have to do, knowing Providence has a big height advantage underneath, take advantage of these possessions and score to try and keep that game close. That's the 3. Beal, that'll go off the front, no good. DeRocher comes off the bench, gets a rebound.
Yeah, matchups are a part of that. We saw Yale do that the other night to where they got bats and some of these guys to guard them out on the perimeter.
Cotton's got 2 3-pointers back-to-back. So Cotton begins his night looking to get to that average of almost 19 points a game, and Providence takes an early jump, 12-6. Ted Woodward and the Maine Black Bears want to take the time out here and try and calm this down right now.
Well, the first 2-3 minutes of the game, Gary, I thought they did a good job of locating Bryce Cotton and keeping the basketball out of his hands, but it's always good if you're a Friar fan when the top guy gets going, but Woodward knows how to X and O with the best of them.
Woodward in his 10th season at the University of Maine. There you see the record for the Bears. Obviously, Maine, recruiting-wise, it can be very tough. Located in the middle of the great state of Maine, trying to get recruits there has been a problem for the team to keep their basketball program up, and that's why you see the wide and varied search that goes on for the Bears.
That's right. They've gone the European recruiting route and
been up to Quebec, done some Canadian
Canada,
recruiting.
there's talent up there, and see 2 quick timeouts by Woodward, which you don't often see this often in a game like this, but you cannot let the Friars get that early lead, and when you see Cotton nail 3, that's Ed Cooley's offense to perfection.
Going underneath, good move, had to spin that one. And Xavier Pollard, their leading scorer, puts it home. Providence out rebounding Maine early, 6-3 at the start of the game. Harris getting by the pressure of the double team. He'll go lane. Bats, that's for 2. Falls short. Loose rebound, and it'll be knocked out of bounds off Maine. Providence will get it.
And this is what Ed Cooley would like to see a lot of this afternoon, not just today, but in Big East Conference play as well. The best scorer in the Big East last year, lighting it up from downtown.
Grafted for the kids. If you think I can do that without suffering severe injuries.
Well, I'll tell you, we talked LaDante Hinton, Kadeem Batts, and Bryce Cotton earlier, but this is the matchup nightmare when conference play rolls around. 6'9", and able to put it on the deck, play terrific in transition, and stretch the defense in the half court. Ed Cooley this offseason, Gary, could not talk enough about his three-point touch and how well he'll complement Cotton and the other guards.
For Maine, all of their 3 field goals have come in the paint. A couple of three-pointers have been put up by Providence. DeRocher has got a huge height advantage underneath. There's Cotton. Look at this 3rd 3 and gets it. Ooh. Wow.
He's got one of the quickest releases off offensive rebounds in the country. There's just no hesitation if his feet are set.
So Cotton 3 for 3 from three-point land so far in this ball game. Pollard draws Harris on the D. They're still wanting to go baseline. Great play to preserve the basketball. Perovic puts it home for 2. What a really nice play. Marco Perovic out of Bolton, Ontario for Maine. 15-10. And Maine, despite the height advantage for Providence, continues to want that baseline. There's DeRocha. That's going to be kicked away.
Really digging in right now with their half-court man-to-man as well. And
Tyler Harris stays in the lineup. He's the man they'll look for outside. Bounce into the corner. Bats a bad pass. Turnover. Lawton got it. Lawton is Maine's leading steal man. Got it in. Pollard up. No chance. DeRocha right in front of him. And the ball taken away by Hinton. These teams look like they're willing to run here on this afternoon court in Providence. DeRocha, who gets a lot of playing time, number 33, when he comes off the bench. Bats puts it on the floor and lost it.
Too many blue bodies in there. Conversion shrinking the D.
Both teams a little sloppy right now in the passing game. Pollard will take it back outside and slow things down. He's got Lawton with him. Lawton back into the corner, driving on Fortune. Shot no good. Rebound's going to get batted away. Cotton will take it away in the corner. 3 Providence defenders underneath there, able to prevent that one from going in. They go back underneath DeRocha, the turn, and won't get the roll, but he will get fouled. Maine's going to have a tough time combating that bench player.
With DeRocha, with that height and size and strength that he has in on the inside, like the Providence coaching staff loves to say, that's just something you cannot coach and cannot teach. And they've been a little thin the last year or two up front, and transfer from Wake Forest. Looking forward to what he'll bring to the table, especially in January and February for those conference games.
Yep. The Big East opener will be against Seton Hall on the 31st for Providence. DeRocha, you will see, coming off the bench, is 30 blocks. He leads the team in block shots. He'll go 1 for 2 on the foul line. His free throw shooting team, Providence, an excellent team, 1 and 2 in the nation early on. Free throw shooting at 81%. Got 1 out of 2 there. Lawton's pass got stolen. That'll be picked up by Cotton. Harris. And Harris got blocked. Rebound. Bats will put it up and in. Good second effort. Bats gets it right now. Providence, big advantage in the offensive rebounds. Into the middle, Pollard, and he'll lose it. Turnover out of bounds. Something Maine's not had a problem with coming in. They've been even in turnovers with opponents so far.
Yeah, so we saw the end of the play with Hinton and then Bats cleaning it up, but this play never develops without the mindset of Bryce Cotton to just speed dribble and really initiate that transition offense. Once again, something the Flyers love to do at home.
Second chance point so far. None for Maine. 5 coming for Providence, and that's those offensive rebounds that Providence getting early on in the game. Hinton, Bats, looking underneath. Hillsborough's in the game, holding the ball. Back to Cotton. He'll drive the lane. Dishes off. And that's going to count. And a foul called as LaDonte Hinton. Maine's not found an answer to shutting him off going in right around the basket.
Now that last possession, Ted Woodward switched to a 3-2 half-court zone, but good things are not going to be there for Maine if the Friars are allowed to get to the teeth of that defense. When you get action in the paint, you get dribble penetration towards the foul line, you're going to be successful.
Hinton will put that one home. Providence with the lead, 21-10. Turnovers for Maine, costing them here early on in this first half, as well as the inability to pick up more of the rebounds. But that was to be expected in this game with the height advantage that Providence has. Lawton dishes out. They're going to look for 3, and they're going to get it. That's a nice shot taken by Veljujevic. Puts it home for 3. He's out of Belgrade, Serbia. Cotton. Harris setting a pick. Bats a pick. Cotton had it poked away. Almost. This is for 3. And the lefties, deep rebound. Harris taking the 3-point chance. 3 on 2 the other way. Pollard, great dish. Don't put the ball on the floor. Put it up and in. Got away with it that time. Field.
That's right. The pass moves a lot faster than the dribble. An efficient transition play by the Black Bears that time.
Both teams trying to get these defensive rebounds turned into points with a fast break. DeRocha's playing the high post. Finds himself alone. Says, I'll take it. It'll go off the front for another deep rebound. And Maine will get that one as Mackey took the rebound and brought it up court. Back outside, Lawton. Pollard into the middle, and a sweet touch off the glass. Pollard out of the Bronx, New York. their leader offensively, and you can see why.
Well, he brings his A-game night in and night out for Woodward. That last zone offense, see, that's where Ed Cooley wants him to skip it opposite out of that high post.
Wow, Cotton's got another. That's 4 3-pointers for Cotton, who came in with 20 on the season. And he's really pumping that number up in this game. A real good free throw and three-point shooter, as well as their number one out there on the floor. That's for 3, and that's going to go. Wow, both these teams going long. That was Velarevich who picks up the three-pointer, and Maine hanging in.
Hanging in for sure. This is not going to be an easy one today for the Friars. Maine's come out hungry. Maine's come out aggressive. It's led to Ed Cooley calling a quick timeout here, but great things happen for the Friars when that guy's shooting it.
Providence gets the quick basket by Kofani. Maine brings it back down the other way, 26-20. Friars trying to maintain the lead. Another turnover. Here comes Cotton. Cotton will have it blocked as he got stripped. That is a good defensive play by Troy Reed-Knight out of Ontario.
Big time hustle.
And a timeout will be taken as Providence leads Maine 26-20. Little holiday special for you here from Providence.
Well, Gary, there's a reason that Bryce Cotton was the top scorer in the Big East last season, and it's this, the 3-ball. Not many guys in the country can shoot it from deep behind the arc as good as or better than Mr. Cotton. That will always be the focal point of Ed Cooley's offense this year.
He is 4 for 4 in three-pointers. He's got 12 points, 3 assists already in the ball game. Providence right now off turnovers, outscoring Maine 5-0. And they've done that with the offensive rebounds, 5-1 in favor of Providence. There is Cotton with the basketball. The Maine shown some shooting, too. They're shooting 53%. Providence at 47% before that shot. So both teams are red hot from the floor here at the start of this basketball game. There's Beal, three-point shooter for them. That's a 2. And that'll be an air ball. Go out of bounds. Providence will get it.
That's a tough matchup for Kofani on the perimeter. Good little shot fake and one dribble pull-up that time by Beal just came up short. But that last attempt for the Friars, Fortune, that's a guy who the coaching staff really looking for him to up his production with conference play around the corner. But you see in a catch-and-shoot situation how quick his release is.
5 for 5. Mercy. Cotton is banging him. And he's looking like he's just absolutely effortless on the 5 3-pointers that he has put up in the game.
Speaking of quick releases.
Whoa, man. Maine's going to have to come out to get him, obviously. Maine continues to try and drive that lane. Pass intended for Lawton, but there were 3 sets of legs. They couldn't get it through. Steal made by Hinton. He'll get it back down the middle. Driving up. Good, and he got fouled. Good, strong effort at both ends right there.
Bryce Cotton pushing the pace again, but this is why the guards on this team love LaDontae Henry. Runs and fills the lane so hard, so aggressively, and then you just see his strength. Rarely see Henton get stripped. Nearly got the 2 free throw attempts that time at the end of the break.
Out of Lansing, Michigan, averaging 12.5 points a ball game. Cotton's got it. Taken back into the middle. He'll try again. Reverse layup, no good. Got his own rebound. Going to get fouled again. So LaDontae Hinton, who averages 7.5 rebounds a game, is going to get there in a hurry in this one. Providence on the line. You do not want to put them there if you're an opponent. They're as good as anybody in the country at the free throw line. They are the leaders at 81.3 as a team. Lafayette, BC, and Bucknell follow them. Hinton will put that one home.
I'll tell you, when conference play rolls around the corner, how many times do you see in January, late February, even conference tournaments, games decided in the final 2 minutes by this charity stripe? And that's something, that's an equation you love that your ball club has.
And he gets both ends of that one. Providence has extended their lead now to 11. Lawton trying to drive through the screen. Cotton by himself. Take your time. Showtime.
So small guy. He's a three-point shooting specialist, but he has hops as well. The Friar fans up here in Rhode Island know he's the dunk champ year in and year out, usually for their Midnight Madness festivities. But they have to be more efficient, the Black Bears, offensively right now, because at this moment, the Friars are getting it done in the half court, and now their defense, Gary, is turning into easy ones on the other end.
Their defense has been very good all year. Providence on a 15-3 run now, and Cotton's on fire here in this game. They would love to be able to give him a little break in this. Cotton averages almost 37 minutes a game. We were talking with head coach Cooley before the game. He said, you know, Cotton was at that number even higher last year, so that's what he does. He said, it's a lot of minutes. I get a little concerned, but he's done it before.
And it's been out of necessity. I mean, Chris Dunn last year as a freshman, who was a highly touted McDonald's All-American from Connecticut, last season injured, this season re-injured shoulder, so it's Cotton has had to put those minutes up. Fouling is not an issue.
Xavier Pollard using the body to set himself up, and he'll get two. And then gets back up. Cotton rushes the other way. Providence with the advantage with him trailing the D. That for three. That'll be short. Along the baseline. Great save. Bats blocked from behind. Bats up again. Puts it home. Saved by Josh Fortune. He's the one who kept the ball in play. And it's a 35-22 game. And now Maine's got to settle this down and find a way to keep it under control. That's how they've been doing it, getting the basketball underneath. That is Ethan McKee. McKee picking it up, coming off the bench for Maine.
Goldsboro got to see man in ball there.
You saw Lawton jumping out. Lawton's one of the real good ball stealers in the nation. Cotton trying to dip it back outside. Hinton is there. There's Lawton again, tried to take it away. Lawton is a magnet to the basketball. He just is able to find it without foul. Fortune puts
Sigh of relief out of Fortune. He hasn't gotten one to drop so far this afternoon, and he could be streaky in a good way now. Look to see him get some more touches here.
The sophomore out of Hampton, Virginia. Pollard driving, trying to put a spin on it. Can't. Fortune will get the rebound. Well, Fortune starts the rush to pass. Oh my. Check the backboard. That's power right there as Kadeem Batts puts it home. Batts having reached a career mark of passing 1,000 points now in his Providence career.
Absolutely, and it was on a nifty pass from Josh Fortune, number 1,000 for Kadeem Batts, and then just followed up right there with 1,002.
Kadeem Batts becoming the 47th player in Providence history to reach the 1,000-point mark in his college career.
And then he got 1,002.
Why stop now?
Then he got 1,004. So he's on a roll right now, but the Friars are playing unselfishly. Guys like Bryce Cotton are delivering the basketball to Kadeem, and Ed Cooley's got three guys now in his lineup that have reached that plateau in their careers.
Interesting that Providence comes in actually having a defense which has ranked 1 or 2 in the non-conference Big East game so far. But the offense has had its problems and in fact is ranked down near the bottom in the Big East. Now remember, these are non-conference games. You would not think that would be the case when you see the offense that Providence can put up. Trouble is, it's been a bit sporadic at times.
And they've played shorthanded, and they haven't had a lot of depth at certain positions. And sometimes when you could only play 6, 7 guys, you wind up as a coach controlling the tempo and walking it up and slowing it down at times. We talked earlier about how many minutes Bryce Cotton logged. So when you're controlling tempo, you can't play fast and get a lot of shot attempts up. So the scoring may suffer at times, but you even saw earlier in the year, Gary, when they battled teams like Maryland and Vanderbilt, keeping the game in the 50s and the 60s in November. So defensively, you could tell that this ball club has played together for a few years and bought into Cooley's philosophy.
And we'll see how that translates when they get into the Big East, which is known for some black and blue basketball, where defense can really matter because the games, I think, over the past years, and no reason to believe it won't continue this year, Big East games tend to be very tough basketball games.
No question. Even with the new look this year, I mean, the defense that Thompson does not get enough credit at Georgetown. They're one of the top 5 to 10 defensive teams in the nation year in and year out. Buzz Williams coaches defense so effectively at Marquette. So night in, night out in league play is going to be a battle for sure.
Rebounding wise, 16-8, a 2-1 advantage for Providence so far, and offensively 8-1. So the second chance points, Providence has got 11 and Maine has got none, and that's coming out those offensive rebounds that Providence has secured here in the first half. Batts is going to come out on the high post there. Fortune and Cotton. They've got DeRocher, got a big backcourt going. LaDontae Hinton. That's Fortune. That's going to be short in the lane. Reaching in. Hinton just stole it and powers himself in. Cotton, this is the third chance, and they convert.
Well, it was off the offensive rebound, but against this 1-3-1 that Maine is playing right now, that's the sweet spot. That's where you want to be along the front line.
Going for 3, Beal, and that'll be rebounded by Hinton. Cotton will push it up. He's got Batts underneath already. Cotton, 2 Batts, great pass. Great bounce pass.
Well, I thought he was a natural born point guard the way he's dishing the rock today.
He is their leader in assists and one of the leaders in the nation. He's number 1 in the Big East in assists. That's going to be good for 2 and a foul. Important basket for Maine as Xavier Pollard out of the Bronx, New York, put that one home. Maine's got to find a way now to chip back into this game.
One thing about Pollard, he does not pick up his dribble and play passive. He keeps coming at you. He's got some shake and bake, some good crossovers to his game. Very tough player to defend against off the bounce.
Maine's got 4 players in double digits, led by Pollard with the 17 per game. They're coming off a loss against Army, but they shot 50% from the floor against Army in a losing cause. Pollard will put that one home. And it's a 45-27 advantage here in the first half. Big offensive explosion here in the first for Providence. Hinton, Cotton, DeRocher, Batts, Fortune. 5 out there for the Friars. Looking into the middle. Go for 3. Will be off. Batts has got it off the rebound. Hinton, DeRocher puts it home on a feed by Batts. Unselfish move right there.
The combination of Kadeem Batts and DeRocher inside is just too much size right now for this current Maine lineup.
DeRocher averages 5 points a basketball game off the bench. And that will be out of bounds, and it went off Maine. John Lawton last to touch.
We're seeing some terrific passing this afternoon by Ed Cooley's guards. How about the big fellas hooking up there? A little center-to-center action.
Don't get a lot of assists down in that territory. Batts got one right there, though. Here is Batts again. DeRocher comes out. Extended left. Looking for the pick. Hinton got it. Fortune. He's hot, too.
They get so much action off that flex offense. Little baseline and elbow screening. Something Al Skinner used to love to do back in the day at Boston College when Ed Cooley was an assistant for him.
That's the 3. They needed it. Couldn't get it. Played back up. Fortune had the rebound. Cotton behind the back. Hinton. DeRocher. Maine back into the man-to-man. They tried to stay out of that because of the height disadvantage when they do it. They really have to play positionally underneath. Got in the lane. Tried to drop it off the bat. It'll go off Maine, and Providence will keep it.
Cotton, as expected, had multiple defenders running at him when he came off that triple screen that time. But once again was thinking pass, was thinking unselfish play.
Cotton's going to come out. Tyler Harris is going to come in. Well, Cotton will get a break here, and a fine hand from the crowd here in Providence. Off the baseline, Fortune. Harris back at midcourt. Pollard rather going for the steal. Not only did he get the foul, he got a fat lip out of it as he caught the arm of the Providence player going around him. So Pollard charged with a personal foul, and Providence looking for their 50th point here in the first half. He'll play it in from the side.
So Pollard not ready for how many 6'9" guys like Harris, when you pressure him up 30 feet from the basket, can just blow by you like that off the dribble.
That's rebound. Maine will bring it up. Pollard, length, double team, can't get it home. Into the middle lot, and a little scoop shot, no good. The Maine 0 for 2 on that one, and Bats with a rebound, kicks it around, reached over, still loose. Ooh, I don't know how he got that free, but he did. Tyler Harris back in, and a whistle and a charging foul. So Providence College looking to keep their streak alive here at home, going for their 33rd consecutive non-conference win on their home court, and they've got the lead.
Well, you see some of these games that the Friars have had so far, and some big leads, but then some tight ones in terms of the final score. And talking with Ed Cooley these last couple of days, he said sometimes there's multiple reasons why, Gary, that winds up happening. Sometimes it's just kids being kids, tending to look at the scoreboard and be complacent. That's something he's talked to his ball club about. Sometimes it's the three-point shot.
Yep.
It's a great equalizer in college hoops.
They've had 5 of 11 decided by 4 or less, and they've won 4 out of those 5 games. Providence has. Maine with the basketball, needing some points here and some defense. So again, Maine giving up a lot of points. That'll be for 3. Pollard won't get the hot Bats will get the rebound. Bats strong at both ends. Harris on the other side coming down with Cotton. Cotton 7 for 7 from the floor. 5 3-pointers. His career high, 7 in a basketball game. And there he is. 6. Oh, in and out on that one. Pollard got the rebound for Maine. Like going underneath. Great pass. Can he handle it? DeRocher on his back. Couldn't find room. Back up again. DeRocher trying to block it and can't. Nice play. Christian Heijiga puts it home. He's come off the bench out of Lagos, Nigeria. Cotton brings it back up. Maine trying to cut into this lead. Maine's had a halftime lead this year in only 1 game out of the 9 they have played. They'll need a big spurt to get one here. Beautiful shot. That left-hander's just got a touch. Harris.
How smooth is that? And how effortless. Not even breaking a sweat. Just a quick little step back. And it's how fast that release is what gets you.
Maine just unable to shut down this Providence offense so far. Lawton goes back outside. Into the lane. Wasn't going to go in, but he gets fouled driving.
So he looks like a 13, 14-year NBA vet that time. Boom, little step back, get it off right over the defender, and that's where the court vision comes into play. 6'9". He usually has guys 4 to 5 inches smaller than him matching up with him sometimes, and shooting touch is effective.
And Maine using the pinstripe to try and get back in here. Stefani will come back into the game for Providence. They'll get a number of players in and out of there. Akonda Coronel at the mound, at the stripe rather, the season ahead here. Out of East Boston, we'll put it up, and it's good. And a timeout's going to be, nope, somebody was in the lane, I guess. All right, so take it away. Really asking what the whistle was for as the official went by, but he'll take it.
You know, we saw those leads earlier, Gary, but not many of those were this big at the half. It's going to be interesting to see what Cooley does in the second half. We talked earlier about the minutes Bryce Cotton logs. There have been games this year where, oh, man.
He's hot. Harris, he's got another three-pointer. 54 first half points for the Friars in this game. And a foul on Harris. Coronel driving the lane. Bears have been able to put some pressure on under the basket, but the problem has been at the other end, even in the outside shooting. They've not been able to shut down the Providence offense at all. And that will take the roll off. Demetria Corinell at the Tabor in East Boston, playing with the Black Bears. Maine will send in Perovic, number 4. And he'll get that one. So 54-31. Providence on top. Time closing in on a minute here in the first half. Ball be played in from the far side at half court.
Oh, we saw that three-quarter court token pressure earlier by the Black Bears. Thought they may stay with that a little longer. Yale gave Providence some problems with that. Had the Friars turning it over Tuesday night.
Providence not having any trouble getting the ball into the forecourt offensively so far. Coryell will bring that one in, almost out of bounds. Good save, keep it in the lane, and a foul. As again, Maine going to the basket. Sean Lawton out of Harlem, New York, gets fouled. Maine not getting the points underneath as their shots are getting blocked, but they are getting to the free throw stripe here for some chances. And he will go to the line for 2. Lawton at the foul line, 67% free throw shooter. This team has struggled at the free throw line, only 63%. And you just cannot have an average that low, especially when opposing teams at the free throw stripe are at 73%.
So often you see in college basketball, you come out on the road, afternoon game, you have cold shooting spurts, but that's one area that if you could really concentrate on, you could really pick up a lot of points at.
Keep you in the game.
The way the game's being called this season as well.
Fortune's got it on the near side. What you saw right there, breaking that press, is what was worked on by Providence this morning before the game. They were out on the court for a long time in what looked wasn't a pregame shoot. It was an actual coaching session that went on, and they were worried about handling the press, figuring Maine would do that. Maine has not done much with it in the first. What a great pass made by Cotton underneath. Foul will be called. Dofani was open, and Cotton found him. Cotton's got that great perspective of the court. Look at this. Knew right where he was and never really looked there, but has that great sixth sense. Knows where players are going to be and where they're moving to. Keep in mind, he's supposed to be the number 2 for Providence this year, the shooting guard, not the playmaker. He's having to play both roles, though, because of some injuries and a couple of players who were suspended. Back to the line. Looking for point number 56. And Tofani will drive it home. The Providence continues their hot shooting from the line. 85% free throw shooter. Maine bringing it up with only 23 seconds left to go. Maine slowing it down. Coryell, 14 shot clock running here with 10. Trying for that one last chance. Pollard's the one. Lawton driving. And a foul will be called as Lawton spread it out, drove the lane, stops the clock with 7.2 seconds left to go. There's Chris Dunn on the sideline, an injury to the shoulder. He tried to come back this year to play. He would have been their point guard this year. And in the game where we saw him play, where he tried to come back, he looked really good. But the shoulder, too big a problem. He's out. They're going to seek a redshirt extension for him. He would have made a real difference. A big player. I mean, as far as the playmaker and shooter's concerned, would have spelled Cotton. But Dunn will have to sit and watch for the season. And that will put even more pressure on Bryce Cotton to play, and whether or not the Providence freshmen who were suspended, Brandon Austin and Rodney Bullock, get back, nobody knows at this point. But the hope is one of them will be back at least. Otherwise, Providence is going to play a season with only 2 real guards on their roster. Lawton will go to the line. 7.2 left. And can't get it. And Maine just not taking advantage of these foul shots, and that's tough because they're earning the fouls underneath. And Ted Woodward, Maine coach, on that sideline, getting his players back defensively now because there's plenty of time for Providence to get the ball to the other end of the court. And Lawton will get 1 out of 2. Ted Bancroft will come into the ball game. Bancroft in for Providence. Goldsboro out.
There's a little bit of that full court pressure we talked about.
We're looking for that. Cotton's got it. Cotton had the dribble knocked away. Still three. And not this time, and that's the end of the first half. So the Friars in Maine expected to be an offensive show. Certainly for the Friars it's been. They've got the 56-33 lead. They've done a great job in the offensive boards against Maine. Second chance points. They've picked up a 15-2 edge Providence has in that regard. And the Friars head coach at midcourt. Vin.
Coach, one thing you have been critical about these first few weeks of the season is not being complacent when you have a big lead. What are you going to talk to the guys about?
We're still not defending the right way. They get into the free throw line. They got the free throw line 4 straight possessions to end the half. Our offensive execution is pretty good, but we're not guarding it. I think they're still shooting in the 40% range. We got to be a much better defensive team. That's what I'll discuss.
What else did you like the first 20 minutes from your club?
The pace. I liked our pace. I liked our ball movement. I thought we moved the ball. I thought we had a high assist half. We got to have the same half in order to have a good Christmas.
Thanks. Have a good half.
Thanks.
There you go. The secret to having a good Christmas is play better D. That's what he wants to come from this team. Cotton out front, Bats underneath. They have been the go-to guys early on, and then Hinton picked it up later. Maine unable to find a way to shut him down, and Cotton. The breakaway turnover point, and Providence took advantage of those. What is it, Christmas? What's going on here?
Some carolers.
Or just eaters.
Have you finished your Christmas shopping? Well, they got the hats cooking today.
Got to get started.
You haven't started?
No.
You're aware it's like...
No, I'm not aware. That's the overall problem.
5 days if you count the day of, which you can't really go out that day.
But all these sites are reminding me that I'd best get going. Welcome back here. Gary Thornton, Parisi, as we get to the second half. A 56-33 lead for the Friars. Let's see how Maine tries to combat this offense while keeping their own going. From the right side, it'll come down into the lane and picked up by Harris. Harris off the rebound. Milucevic's shot for three. Hinton and a whistle underneath before the shot. It'll go the other way. It'll be called, I think. Somebody will be underneath on the push for Providence.
They called a little shove in the back that time on Hinton trying to get position. He's talking it over with the official, John Gaffney. What a heads-up play, though, by Bats. So multiple bodies swarming them there. Nifty little kick out to Harris in the corner. 19
points for Cotton in the first half. Bats has got 14. Bats also their leader in rebounds with 7. Xavier Pollard has picked up 9 for Maine, 9 points. And their leaders, they spread the scoring out, but have got to get a lot more of it here. And there he is with a shot that's going to hit nothing that time. Bryce Cotton got the rebound. Cotton looking, Hinton driving, dishes. 4-2. Pretty good contact, no foul. Picked up by Harris. That'll come out deep to Cotton.
Switching into the 2-3 zone here mid-possession.
Maine used that in the first half. And that's when Cotton put up the 3-pointers. A lot of room in the lane that time. Kyler Harris. Harris out of Dixville, New York, and went to NC State before coming to Providence. Boy, what a great advantage that has given Providence. Drive in the lane. Good dish on the pass to Ijiga. Ijiga puts it home for 2. They found a little room.
See, last 2 possessions, Maine have tried to turn the corner, Gary, really get into the paint off their dribble.
There's a travel. This is what Yale did to Providence in the last game Providence played. Put the pressure on. He created turnovers.
Well, here we see that little bit of pressure. Josh Ford, shuffled the feet just a little bit. You got to come to a stop, come to a jump stop before you release that pass there. But listen, a lot of people think points in the paint is just throwing it into a big man. It could be off the dribble as well. Middle penetration, high pick and rolls, curls like that.
So Maine getting some points here. Veljurevich. Darko Veljurevich puts it home. Harris the other way. Pollard on him. Maine's got to make the run now here at the beginning of this first half. First half lead. Providence with 24 at 1. Great effort right there.
Josh Fortune with the feet set.
Into the lane before the opportunity, a travel violation. Maine turns it over. Bloger, 25, questioning what the call was. Boy, did those turnovers hurt Maine. 18 points off turnovers for Providence in the first half and none for Maine.
They didn't have many dead ball turnovers, meaning they didn't throw it into the stands. And they were all live ball turnovers to which Providence had offense right at the other end.
Look out, LaDontae Hinton. He got the feed underneath and rams it home.
The best way to zone, get it to the foul line area, and then a little high-low dump down. Bats to Hinton. Emphatic.
That's taking advantage. Underneath, Hinton will go to the line. 9 on the day, looking for double digits, and he will get it. So Hinton, who averages 12.5 a game, closing in on that number. Apologize for our audio difficulties and hope that has been corrected. Well, Arjic puts that one. Boy, they're getting some shots at the foul line. But again, as has happened to Maine all season, even though they can score some points, trying to shut down the opponent has been the problem. And they're finding that again here in this game as well. They've cut the lead. Friar's still putting some points up.
Yeah, their score is...
That's for 3. That'll roll off. Rebounded up and home. Boy, what a game Kadeem Batts is playing. That's having one of his better efforts on the year. That is batted away from behind. Fortune picks it up. 3-on-3. Foul line. Batts almost walked with it, but he was tied up in doing so. Fortune's going to take the shot. A whistle comes.
3 seconds in the lane action.
The way these teams move, you don't see a lot of that because nobody spends a lot of stationary time in the paint for either of these
That's
teams.
Right. We haven't had a lot of slow play, but back to Maine, their record is not indicative of their scoring. There's not a lot of teams in the country, I bet, that have one win but score in the high 70s. But when you give up nearly 90, it's going to be an issue.
Yep, Maine gets outscored 89-76 on average. Batts the upcourt, the fake, the shot, didn't get it. And the whistle underneath. I think Batts didn't realize he actually was all by himself when he took that shot. So Kadeem Batts passing the 1,000 point mark in his career against this Maine team, helping Providence to the big lead.
One more non-conference matchup a week from today for the Providence Friars versus UMass, who's top 25 for the first time in a while. And then a reoccurring theme, injuries. Their first Big East matchup on New Year's Eve is against the Seton Hall Ball Club, and their head coach, Kevin Willard, has been battling injuries as well. Similar to Providence's situation, the Seton Hall Pirates, they've had games where they don't have their top 3 guys, top 3 scorers, Gary, in the lineup night in and night out. And just see, that Providence Seton Hall is a perfect example of when Ed Cooley and Kevin Willard probably talked in August and September. That's the last thing on their mind, is you know, fighting and scrapping and clawing. Just shows there's so many surprises during the college hoops season.
So Batts continues his hot day as he picks up a couple from the line. Providence increasing their lead here in this second half. Rovic looking. Followed the cutter on the baseline, trying to do the reverse, and foul called underneath. Big East play will be getting underway on that 31st with all those games involving Big East teams. So far this season, it's been, to say the least, an interesting non-conference start.
No, it has. And listen, we've seen some terrific individual performances thus far. I mean, you talk about McDermott at Creighton and some of the young talent that St. John's has in this league. But other than Villanova Thanksgiving weekend down in Atlantis, what the Big East is, they've been right on the cusp of just a couple of big national non-conference wins. They have not been able to capitalize on. We saw St. John's give Syracuse all they could handle last weekend at the Garden. Georgetown had a tough one today versus Kansas.
Bats again. It'll be interesting to see when they get to go against one another. These first 2+ months are non-conference games, and sometimes hard to really tell what you've got.
That's right.
Do you get into the conference? Virovic with it, almost lost it on the dribble. Bats guarding him, backs him in anyway, and a two-hander over the head for two. At a distinct height advantage on that one.
Talk about high degree of difficulty right there.
Marko Perovic putting it in. 6'7" freshman. Maine's got 7 freshmen, no seniors on this team, as they lost their starters from last year, their big players, so they are rebuilding. Little bounce pass to Rocher. Fontaine. He'll take the 2. DeRocha had it batted away. Maine will get it back. Lawton leading the charge, and a nice fast break. Degia puts it home. Jacob's done a good job working the breaks here in this game when Maine's been able to get the rebound and start their offense at the other end. Rocha sets the pick. Cotton took the little bump. Cotton drives, just lost possession. Bats will get it back, and he will get fouled.
I don't know about you, Gary, but I think this is just how Coach Woodward and the coaching staff drew this one up. How about that?
He practiced that.
Back him down, and look, he's got bats on him. Looks like a little Harlem Globetrotter action right there. Eyes behind his head.
Little two-handed reverse layup underneath. Real soft jump shot right there. Harris puts it home.
We've talked about Harris on the break in his three-point stroke, but he's got some soft mid-range game as well.
Into the middle, the turnaround, and a swinging hook shot. Degia put that one home. Bats has got 20 and 8 rebounds. Cotton's got 19 and 8 assists. Hinton with 10 points and 6 rebounds for this Providence offensive team. And a spin move all alone. Harris goes in. Ladonte, Hinton, Harris, DeRocha working underneath here, and they're finding room. You can see Maine's problem is just not big enough size-wise underneath to derail Providence, and that's what's happened to him all year. Gets battered away. Bancroft off the bench for Providence. Cotton, 3. Back to Cotton, Bancroft, DeRocha. DeRocha a step and a shot. Back to DeRocha, that'll be stolen. Pollard gets it up. Lawton, Cotton, Lawton, reverse. No, backs the rebound. It is schoolyard basketball. Harris for 3. Bingo. Now Harris putting up the numbers. 77-48.
He'll stop that up and down frenetic pace. Having to take it out of the basketball net. Friars once again showing they have three-point threats other than Bryce Cotton.
Harris has got 14 points and 4 rebounds so far. Nice reverse layup put up by Pollard. Pollard can move, not afraid to go to the lane. Pollard, Maine leading scorer on the season end in this game. Really shouting out instructions here. Pass back to Cotton. Will go into backcourt. Got batted away by Lawton. Lawton has tremendous hands, number 10 for Maine. He's been on the basketball all day. That's for 3 and a tip in. And was he over the rim? It will count. He was over it all right. Tyler Harris about 5 feet over it.
And Woodward thought so to the officials, but Harris is just scoring in every possible way right now.
And a real nice drive again by Pollard at the other end. Pollard gets the 2 for Maine. Providence in no hurry here with this big lead midway through the second half. Maine gets its first points off a turnover. Providence College has got 21. Maine's got 2 points off turnovers. Cotton for 3. Again, no dice, bats. Cotton kicked at it. And it's cleared out. Nice play Aziga got it out of there. Maine the advantage on the break. Shot went in, but is not going to count at Pollard.
You know, the Friars were pretty good last year. They were an NIT team, but you know what Ed Cooley told us? The scout team used to beat the starting five every day in practice. Why? This transfer, Tyler Harris from NC State.
What?
Gotta love Regis.
Gotta love Regis. We don't have to, but good idea if you're working for Fox. Goes back into the middle. Turnaround. No good. Bats pulls it down. Providence Cotton brought it up. Bancroft 3. High.
Oh.
2 chances. Rebound up and in by Harris. He is dominating underneath.
Bancroft, Goldsboro, 2 crowd favorites in right now that bring the hustle on a daily basis for Ed Cooley.
No foul called on that as Perovic got dumped after he took the 3-point attempt. Cotton will bring it back up the other way. Fans wanting him to shoot over there. 22. Bancroft, who just came in, bats. Goldsboro comes back out on top. Bancroft's pass got knocked away. Cotton got it. Trying into the middle bats. Nice touch. Kadeem Bats going through the middle as the Friars seeking a 100-point game here.
It's just too easy for Bats right now. Size-wise inside.
Goldsboro coming out on D. That's a 3-point attempt and a tough shot put home. Veljarevich with 16 points in the game. 83-55.
We saw that multiple times tonight. Him getting tough perimeter looks off.
Bancroft gets it underneath, and I think it went out of bounds. Goldsboro's the intended.
See, Gary, and that young man right there is the reason why as many offensive weapons as Ed Cooley's ball club has, when you talk to Ed Cooley, that concern of depth is just there for conference play in January and February. Their huge comeback win in November versus Vanderbilt. Cooley totally credits Chris Dunn in it. And now you look at the fact that Bryce Kahn has to bring it up. He has to run the point. We saw games like at Rhode Island a couple of weeks ago to where he was gassed and went 7-8 minutes without scoring. And when those wars of conference play comes, that is the one thing that Cooley and his coaching staff is going to have to keep an eye on.
So he said Cotton playing more minutes than anyone else in the Big East before conference play opens up. Maine goes back into the middle. Gave it that high little hook shot. Couldn't get it home. Bats got the rebound. Rebounding prowess and Providence continues. 2-on-1 opportunity. Pollard on the steal. Cotton slowed him down. Batted away Fortune. Pollard got it back out of bounds, and Maine will keep it.
Not that hustle by Josh Fortune. It's nearly a 30-point game. Still running guys down.
Maine looking to play it in along the baseline. Pollard, that's for 3. No dice. Tap back up. Actually, Bats hit that, and Bats got hit in the face. Bats trying to clear his vision here as he walks back up court. Took a little slap to the face that time on the rebounding play, but will stay in. Alley-oop underneath for Cotton.
They read it that time.
And Maine able to knock it away. Gia trying to go in, can't. His pass, man cutting baseline, and it will go out of bounds. Turnover on the Bears.
And as we've seen before, Bryce Kahn can come off back screens for alley-oops and finish it at the other end. He's not just a shooter, an athlete as well, but
6'1" senior who can sky with the best of them. Working off the high post, Fortune for 3. And a pushing foul underneath. That'll be called on Maine as Goldsboro had position under there. Both teams going deep to the benches here in the second half. Providence will get the basketball along their own baseline. Pollard will come out of there. Maine's leading scorer will get a break. Goldsboro got it away to Cotton. Cotton trying to use the pick, couldn't get it. Buffoni came up and set it for him. Off the high post, Goldsboro. Shot clock, plenty left on it. Fortune got it to Cotton, he can take it, and it'll roll off. It'll go the other way. Foul is going to be on Providence on the push. And the Friars, after their big win, have the 83-55 advantage. Harris has had one of the better games of the season. A look when we come back.
Well, that young man right there, Tyler Harris, the transfer from NC State, is the biggest reason the Friars have been on all cylinders. And this is all in the second half today, showing you the entire arsenal. He could score in the interior. He could stretch the D with his three-point touch. Crashes the offensive boards. This type of length, this type of athleticism, and to have a 6'9" perimeter guy that talented in your locker room, Gary, that's what you want when conference plays right around the corner.
And the big 18-point effort here for Harris, 5 more than his average has been on the season. Maine with the basketball, 7:27 left to go. Grovick's pass underneath. They don't take that one. Reed Knight outside will come to the foul line, give up the 3 for the 2, and he will get it. Out of Vaughan, Ontario, Troy Reed Knight, another one of their freshmen. As we said, 7 of them on this team. As their head coach, Ted Woodward, continues to look for a real starting 5, shuffling the lineup virtually every game. There's the man who can steal him. Lawton the other way. He'll go up and convert it for 2. He has an amazing pair of hands. He's just able to find the basketball, knock it away, and not commit the fouls. He's 29th in the nation in steals coming into this game. Sean Lawton of Maine. Fortune down the lane. Hinton had to force that one up, couldn't get it. Rebound, Bonnie's up and in.
Buffoni getting in on the second chance points right now.
Maine has done that. Providence has done that throughout the game. 27-2 advantage in second chance points in this game. That's for 3. That'll go off, tipped away, and controlled by Providence. Cotton will bring it up. Fortune inside the circle and won't get it. Coronel the rebound. Goes the length, lost it on the floor, and a whistle and a foul underneath on all the reaching in. Providence will be charged with that one. From the crew that brings you America's #1 pregame show comes Fox Football Daily. All the news, opinions, and insights you need on the NFL and college football. Fox Football Daily, weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern only on Fox Sports 1. Here in Providence, the Friars are going to win their 33rd consecutive non-conference game here at home. The longest streak of Big East history since the Big East was founded. And I'm going to put this one away really without much question. Cotton will pick it up. Long up, Fortune in the middle. Pass got deflected away off Black Bear.
This is where you want to keep playing hard, and you want to still be efficient, but you want to be clean. You don't want to be sloppy. You don't want guys getting hurt.
Cotton still in the ball game. Last time Providence got 100 points was back in March of 2010. They lost to Seton Hall 109-106. And that game in 2010 is the last time they've reached the triple-digit mark. Providence will play it in on the near side. Fortune and Cotton. Goldsboro, Kofani, Hinton. Providence 5. Kofani goes to the side. That's 3. And put it home. Nice shot by Josh Fortune. They've reached the 88-point mark in this one.
This is smart by Cooley, going to the zone, save the legs a little bit.
Reed Knight had to save it in. Pollard back in the ball game for Maine. Turnover on the attempted dribble. Conrail, and a timeout will be taken by Maine rather than getting tied up and losing possession of the basketball. Providence on top, 88-59, looking for the victory, which would be their 10th against only 2 losses this season.
This is a team that Big East foes are going to be looking out for when conference play begins in just a short time. And now you look, 3 of their 4 first conference games are on the road, Gary, but those huge wins against Kansas and Iowa were away from Philadelphia. They were down in the Battle of Atlantis, and Javon Pinkston there putting in work for Jay Wright. Nova's always been known to have good perimeter play, strong guards. But now the Cats have that inside-outside action with Pinkston along the baseline as well.
Staying off there, second only Creighton in the Big East as far as the offense is concerned, averaging 82 points a game and 4th in defense. So a pretty good balance both ends of the court for Villanova with a 10-0 mark. Ball will be played by Providence. Cotton's got a chance at a triple-double in this game. He's got 19 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Rebounds will be the tough ones to pick up to get to the triple-double. Underneath. Double-teamed. Put by Hinton, no good. Maine will get the chance at the other end in the 2-on-2. Reed Knight behind the back pass. Pollard had to fumble to get it. Lost it out of bounds, and it will go off Providence. Maine will control. Good defense by Kofani that time, who reached in to knock it away. Bears want to go underneath here, force the play, then take it back out. Reed Knight driving, double team, throws it up, no good. Batted away. Gier had the opportunity for Maine. Providence hit it last. Fortune did. Both teams will make substitutions here. Goldsboro coming out. DeRocher coming back into the game for Providence. Reed Knight. Providence stays in that zone. Triple team right there. And that one up and in. Maine able to get one along the baseline. Till Gloger from Germany. Another fresh sophomore, rather, at 6'8". On this very young Maine team. One thing these Maine players know, you play the whole game because you're looking for a starting spot in minutes. And it's wide open on this young Maine team as to once they get into conference play, who's going to play.
Talk about youth.
Fortune Cotton.
Interesting to see how long Cooley stays with Cotton out there.
Yeah, he's played most of the game. I mean, he's come out a couple of times, but they've been very short rests. Pass got underneath and a nice turnaround shot. Gloger again puts it in, the 6'8". Forward. A couple of quick baskets off the bench for him. Providence with this big lead. They're scoring, slowing down as they obviously are in no hurry to give the basketball up. So they're running that shot clock down each time up. Hinton, Fortune, DeRocher's all alone. Bounces it off, but got blocked. Fortune picked it up for Cotton. Cotton is going to miss it. And blocking foul will turn it over to Maine. Two teams who can score, and they have done it in this game. Fortune having one of his good outings at both ends. Nightly on Fox Sports Live, you can join Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole along with Donovan McNabb, Andy Roddick, and Carissa Thompson as they bring you all the scores, news, and highlights that you'll need. Catch Fox Sports Live nightly on Fox Sports 1. Gary Thorne of Imparisi here, sending along our best wishes. Both coaches wanted to make sure that from each of their schools and from themselves, we sent along best wishes to all the folks for the holidays. And I hope you'll keep it safe, especially here in the Northeast. It's going to get a little ugly tonight and tomorrow, apparently. Rain, snow, freezing, and a lot of people traveling.
Coach Cooley loves the holidays.
He does.
Have you caught the video screen up here?
I
in the
have.
dunk? Santa Cooley.
Very good. Santa Cooley reads his special Providence directed night before Christmas.
Makes a great clause.
With that. C-L-A-U-S-E. Driving in the lane is Cotton. Neal dish to the near side. DeRocher's shot no good. Rebound taken down by Pollard. Till Glower got that last 2 from the other end. That's for 3, and that's good. Troy Reed-Knight puts it on Maine on a little scoring spree here, cutting it to a 20-point differential with only 2:10 left to go. Providence chances of reaching that 100 mark diminishing here as the offense, as you would expect, slowing down with a big lead. Fortune had it knocked out of his hands. Goes off Maine. We've not seen Kadeem Batson since he took a little bat to the eye about 5 or 6 minutes ago. His 4th double-double picked up in this game. 22 points, 11 rebounds for him. That'll be off Hinton's shot. Again, Reed-Knight. Nice stop. Nice touch. Get the D going the other way.
Why so many coaches teach the jump stop, and this lead now down to 18. Ed Cooley not happy. He's going to coach until the 0-0-0's up on the clock.
Maine's got an 11-0 run. Now the question is, which one is the real Santa Claus? On the left, Santa Claus, or on the right, Santa Cooley?
I like Santa Cooley better. What's with the black leather gloves? You got to go white gloves the way Cooley does. It looks like he's going to go de-ice his windshield afterward.
Santa Cooley.
See, Ed doesn't cut corners.
That'll be cleared back out deep. Cotton with it on top. Cotton's going to stay in this game. And they're just going to run the clock down. He turns for 3, and he got it. Got a long time since picking it up in the first. He had 5 3-pointers. I believe that's the first 3-pointer he's had in the second. That's 6 in the game. His career high 7. Batted away. Glauer gets it. And that'll be bounced away to DeRocher. So Cotton with a chance to reach a career high in 3-pointers.
Cooley right now shouting out instructions to space the court. Use some of that shot clock.
Cotton's pass almost stolen underneath. Attempted dunk miss. Bancroft brought it in. DeRocher will take it right back out. Shot clock reset. 39 left to go in the game. As the Friars got to go 10-2. Maine will go 1-9. That's the 3. Casey Woodring, who just came off the bench. It's recognized as he hits the 3. Bancroft. Now they want him to shoot.
One of the great parts of college basketball.
Woodring just entered the game during that last time out. It's only the 4th game that he has appeared in, his first 3-pointer. And Cotton's just going to rag it. So the final 5. And Providence College comes away with a win as they beat the Black Bears of Maine 94-70.
Impressive performance today by Ed Cooley. His starters getting it done, and it was inside outside. The big guys, Bryce Cotton was terrific, and Tyler Harris, a special afternoon as well.
So overall, historically, Providence now 11-1 all time against Maine. And one more for Providence before their Big East opener. One more non-conference game to be played. But a real good display at both ends of the court, taking advantage of 3-pointers and shots from underneath. That's going to do it here in Providence. For Vin Parisi and all of our great crew here, I'm Gary Thorne. We wish you the very best for the holidays, and please do keep them safe and look forward to all the great basketball coming up in the new year and even on New Year's Eve as the Big East gets it underway. Adieu, adieu.